Well, I thought I'd do a video discussing another way to analyze potential Bigfoot habitat, or another way to think about it. I've heard it said that bear habitat will be similar to Sasquatch habitat because they both are top large predators, and because of that they would have to have similar diets. So one map we'll be using is bear habitat. I'm going to use 3 different states as examples: Utah, Oklahoma, and Florida. Another map to consider is annual precipitation. I've also heard it said that higher precipitation could be indicative of a higher Sasquatch population. I'm not saying that Sasquatch cannot, live somewhat in drier areas, but I would think their population would be more convenient for them to be in an area where there's a lot of water, since they are a larger predator. And there are a lot of other animals that frequent water, even if some people speculate that they don't need water as much themselves. I don't know, but obviously if they're eating other critters, they would need water. Anyway, you'll notice in the drier states, the water areas are going to be more focused and smaller, whereas, say, a state like Florida, the bear habitat would be more limited and focused in comparison to, say, Utah. The opposite, the bear habitat's larger. So I've heard both of these things before, and I thought, why not take the two maps and overlay them on top of one another and see what the correlation is, see where they overlap. So that's what I've done here. Unfortunately, I don't have Photoshop on this laptop, so we're using a website where it has some of the capabilities. Unfortunately, I can't make one layer translucent, but I can at least. So here I've made them the same size, and we have the bear habitat and then the annual average precipitation in Utah. You can see right here is a very high precipitation area. This is the boundary of Utah and I believe Salt Lake counties. Right below this purple area, you have American Fork Canyon. Above it, you have Little Cottonwood Canyon, and the higher precipitation does extend further out on the north side here than it does the south. So this is all Little Cottonwood Canyon, Big Cottonwood Canyon. Skiing around here as well because, again, it's higher precipitation, and a lot of the precipitation happens in Utah is in the winter. Okay, I'm not as familiar with up here, but this is another higher precipitation area up near Weber County, and it's probably one of the highest sightings for Sasquatch in this area. Here is more populated with humans. There probably are sightings there, but let's take up here for an example, since I already have this opened up. Okay, that would be right here. And then I think I have this open here. Yeah, that's right here again. If you zoom in, this is another ski area. I think it's Powder Mountain, I guess. So anyway, I would expect Sasquatch to be frequenting those areas quite a bit. Let's see, the Uintas over here, higher precipitation. And then much of Utah is a desert. We'll see in a little while that the map for Florida, it's much different because everything's pretty much above this level. Everything is above this level here. Okay, let's move on. Don't want to ramble too much here. Okay, and this is what I was mentioning earlier with that other area. This is American Fork Canyon. The mountain ranges here. There are some high mountain lakes here, and this is Little Cottonwood Canyon. So this is very high for precipitation in Utah. Well, let's go back here for a second. Let me go down here a moment. May not be able to read it, but I can tell you what it says. Crucial year-long habitat for bears. These are black bears, obviously, and substantial year-long habitat. So the crucial would be where they would need to have their habitation not disappear. Kind of surprising. Doesn't look like there's that much up in the Uintas. It's very high, I guess higher elevation than what they would be at a lot, I guess. But right along here, where you do have sightings, all these areas are high mountains, and Sasquatch is there, and black bear habitat also. And there's coincidence with the precipitation, for instance, right here. Okay, let's move on to Oklahoma. Well, one other thing, we can also pull one of the maps on BFRO and also see that Weber County and Provo counties have higher incidences of views when it comes to Sasquatch sightings, and that kind of corresponds with the higher precipitation again. Go over here, high precipitation here, high precipitation there, and higher sightings. Some of these, obviously if there's not people there to see Sasquatch, even if there's a higher population, you're not going to have any sightings, so you need to keep that in mind. There's one place in Florida we'll see later where that's probably in play. Let's go on to Oklahoma. So first we notice that most of the sightings on BFRO, by county at least, are over here. If we go over to the rainfall, precipitation, we see that, lo and behold, the highest precipitation is also over here. In fact, we can see, let's see, this county right here probably has the most concentrated rain above 56 inches, even though there's a wider range down here. 52 to 56 is not much difference. But yeah, the highest number of views are up here, and then secondary down here in McCurtain County. Then as you get further out here, it gets quite a bit drier, closer to the desert, and there are fewer sightings of Sasquatch. Black bears in Oklahoma, same thing. The highest concentration is over here. Surprisingly, I guess there are some out here. Maybe they were reintroduced or something like that by the Forest Service. Moving on to Florida. Annual precipitation. Like I said, keep in mind, Florida is a much wetter state. Under 50, that's the threshold for the highest in Utah, whereas it's the threshold for the lowest in Florida. So it doesn't mean as much. The whole thing is high water precipitation. If you want to get extremely high, we have right here in this county, which is Gulf County. And if we look on BFRO, actually they have no sightings listed here, or very few. Let me click on the actual county and see. Oh, there is one right here, nighttime sighting from a truck. My feelings on this particular place is that it's not that there aren't Bigfoot there, because we have the Apalachicola National Forest. I have a hard time believing there are no Sasquatch in the area. The problem is there are no people to see Bigfoot. If you're traveling through the area, you're probably just going along this highway here or this highway here, heading on through to somewhere else, or you're not looking for Sasquatch or what have you. Okay, bear range in Florida, bear habitat. According to this, it's fairly broad. It is on the upswing, I think. It says it's 45% of historic range occupied, so it's half what it used to be at one time, but this is 2016. They're saying it's abundant in these areas, so you could figure that maybe there's some Sasquatch there as well. I do know that there are sightings in these areas of Sasquatch. I think this is kind of vague, because some of these areas, you know, they're going to be towns, and you're not going to see a black bear wandering through them. Anyway, this is general range. Now let's compare it with the precipitation again. Again, keep in mind, you know, this could be 40 plus inches of rain. That's still plenty. There's the sightings over here. Quite a few in Marion County. I think that's because it is the Ocala National Forest. Let's go over here. You know, it's kind of moderate, 50 to 52 inches, which in most states is quite a bit. In Florida, it's on the little lower end, but still that's plenty. Anyway, very wet over here, and there are kind of moderate sightings over here, but again, much fewer people in Panhandle. A lot more people live down here, so that's probably why there are more sightings. And that's pretty much what I had. I just wanted to bring that up. People say that black bear habitat would be similar to Bigfoot. Don't get too caught up on, you know, only picking the very highest precipitation areas, but just realize that the whole bear habitat area could potentially have them. And then, of course, in places like Utah, you can, like Rio says, you can pick the greener side of the mountains, the north and northeast sides of mountains, but that doesn't work in all states. Obviously, this doesn't work either in all states. Not every state has a bear habitat, but every state does have a precipitation map. Lots of states, more and more, do have some bear habitat, though. Okay, that's all for now.